place. I, unlike many of us, have achieved what a lot of us are striving for. However, I had the resources to do so, and I spent it all to the tune of about $100,000 to get every other weekend, Friday to Monday, Wednesday overnight, to do the little things that involve being a parent, which is dinner at night, getting to bed on time, working on the letters and working on the numbers and shapes and colors, and then waking up in the morning and getting them off to school and daycare. It's the little things like that that make a difference. It's breaking pencils over algebra when they're in ninth grade. That's what makes a father or a parent, and that's what we should all be involved here, because our children did not have the opportunity in this decision, or did not have a choice in this decision. The decision's made by a couple people who couldn't see eye to eye. So, $1,600 away from bankruptcy, I told my attorney, I can lose for free if this is what it's going to take, and I went pro se in these proceedings, and I've done pretty doggone well. And in doing so, in this fight, I grew up in Detroit, Michigan. I grew up a mile away from Rosa Parks' grave, and that plays very heavy into our culture in Detroit. Rosa Parks was a pretty important figure in that area. This is a meek person who decided not to be meek anymore, who said she wasn't going to go to the back of the bus in this fight. And while we're relating a racial issue to a parenting issue, the issue still is a discriminatory issue. So I decided we weren't going to take a step, go to the back of the bus, and I'm not going to step down. We're going to fight. We're going to do the things. We're going to be doers. And I can't carry this all on my own, and that's why I need you guys. I need Illinois Fathers and the Children's Rights Council to keep pushing me forward here, and I look to every one of you. So much so that as I was in court just a month ago today, actually. I was in court, and I was there because I took a picture of my son at daycare for a Mother's Day project back in March. I was doing a little video project that I happen to be very good at, and I was doing a neat little thing for Grandma. I did violate a court order being at daycare on a day that was not my day to be there, but I needed a candid shot. It was my day to drop him off at school. He then takes the bus over to daycare, and I was trying to get that shot for Mom, who lives in Detroit. And someone found out about it, pressed the issue, and I was facing jail time, a lot of jail time, for violating an order of the court, and therefore contempt. I asked my friends with this group to help me out, at least show a little bit of support, because too often it's one guy against, or one person, let's put it that way, against three others. That would be your opponent, the attorney, and the judge in many cases. I needed to balance the odds here, and I needed to even the keel a little bit. Well, 14 of you showed up, and it took everything to hold back the tears just on that one alone. 14 people showed up and sat on either side of the courtroom so the judge could see, we're paying attention to you. We're watching what's being said, and it's not just going to stop here. Other people are going to hear. Thankfully, I think that those 14 people only kept me in jail for a weekend rather than several weekends thereafter. And that was an interesting time. I spent a weekend in Sangamon County, downstairs, in sheer and utter boredom. You don't do anything. You have everything taken away from you. And I thought, how poetic. You know, everything's already been taken away, and now I don't even have underwear. This is good. I counted every brick in the cell. There's 340, by the way. I talked with every person in the jail. At one time, there were 6 or 7 guys that had rotated through, and overall about 25 that were downstairs that I got to speak with. Not one of them outside of me had an active father in their life. And I thanked, at that point, I thanked the judge for putting me there. And I thanked God for putting me there, because whereas I thought it was a bitter thing, and I was ticked off and I was angry, I was happy it was only one weekend, I was ticked that I was there because it was wrong. But then I thanked him, and I said, this only reinvigorates me more. It's been very painful. It's cost me a lot in emotional and sleep and hair. And recently, I was, we're going through a situation where a lot of fees have been levied against me because of a contempt proceeding in which I took a picture at daycare, and I kept my son too long over the Thanksgiving holiday by a few hours due to a vague set of rules, and spent about 6 hours downstairs for that one too. And because of that, the contempt proceedings have provided me with a substantial amount of fees that I now have to cover as well, which we're still combing over to make sure certain ones are valid, because I've been asked to pay for the items that I won, and that the other half was found to be incorrect. Well, June 15th, just this past Monday, my entire account was levied, albeit we're still in the process of figuring out if the fees were even correct in the first place. And I found it interesting timing, because it's bonus day as well. It's payday, and it's the week before Father's Day. I enter Father's Day this weekend with a few bucks in my pocket to go do the regular cookie at Centrum Cafe that I do with him, the cookie and milk that he likes, or the ice cream at Cold Stone that we do from time to time. And I thought it was pretty interesting timing. That doesn't get brought to light, the almost harassment that occurs in these situations, and we have to back down all the time. We cannot back down. We have to step up. We have to say what our feelings are without being insulting. We have to push forward. Not only we have to think about the fact that it's the kids' rights here, not just our rights to be a parent. It's the children's rights to have both parents. And we cannot step down and back down from this. Just as a meek secretary did back in Alabama, who said, no, I'm tired, I've had a long day. I'm not getting up. You can go to the back of the bus, I was here first. You're still going to get a seat, and we can no longer be a backseat driver or a backseat passenger in our children's lives anymore. Thank you. I said that in court, and the judge thought that was a really bad analogy, and he found it offensive. I reminded him that I was the only white kid in school, and I knew what it was like to be a minority, albeit in my own little community. I do know what it's like to be a minority as a whole, because in divorce, the non-custodial parent is the minority, and there are far more of those than there are of any other minority. And even the races that are minorities become the minority when they're the non-custodial parent, and that is not right. And that's why we have to keep doing, we have to keep pressing forward, we have to use each other's shoulders to push forward and to collaborate with each other. We've got to talk with each other and make sure that we're all on the right path, and when we're not, we've got to make sure we keep each other on the right path. And that's what I ask of you, and I thank you for all of that as well. Thank you once again.